not only are you helping people with addiction, but you have taken this now to prisons in California. In fact, the Corcoran State Prison, it's one of the toughest prisons in the country. You have now taken the dogs to prison. Tell me about that.
Positive Change is our inmate canine training program. It's a comprehensive program that we developed 5 years ago. We spent about 4 years trying to get into the prison system, and 5 years ago, a warden named David Long finally took a chance on us, and we started our pilot program at California City Correctional Facility, and we've never looked back. It is the thing I'm most proud of. It was really championed and spearheaded by Lisa Porter, who's one of our head trainers, and myself, and then this consortium of other trainers, Kim and Sam and Leah, and just a whole bunch of rad women that believed in this idea of going into prisons and rehabilitating shelter animals and violent offenders, and really pairing the most needy, disenfranchised group of dogs with the most needy, disenfranchised group of human beings. We have a crisis of access to hope in this country. Everyone wants to live the American dream, but we have marginalized certain populations so that they don't have access to the American dream. Very specifically, formerly incarcerated and currently incarcerated. These are people who by simply becoming incarcerated, have become second-class citizens, possibly forever. I mean, you see the tagline is, we're going to let criminals vote. So if someone's committed a crime, that means they're a criminal for the rest of their life. That means that's how we're going to address them. Am I an addict for the rest of my life? Is that how you're going to address me? Am I an alcoholic? Am I a loser? We're none of those things, So working with the prison system has been the thing that absolutely blows my hair back, that fills my heart up, that makes me feel plugged into a passion like nothing ever has before, which is a lot to say, because I got so passionate about this work when my dog saved my life that I thought specifically working with dogs was kind of the end all be all. And then we added this element of human recovery, and it's so powerful. I don't even know where to start. The stories are incredible. About half of our guys that have gone through our programs inside of the state prison system are involved in the animal welfare industry on the outside. So guys that have gone through our program, graduated, been released from prison, have found work in the $70 billion pet industry. So not only is our program rehabilitating people in prison, unifying races in the prison system, helping guys set up their success when they get out, both emotionally from a substance abuse program element, but we're getting them set up with jobs so that they have access to hope. That is the biggest variable here. Is the whole point of Positive Change is to create access to hope for dogs and for human beings, and that's exactly what we're doing. We have a 100% adoption rate. We've graduated something like 500 dogs from the program, over 1,000 men, and any one of those men who goes through our program who wants to succeed on the outside in this juggernaut of an industry called the pet industry can do so, and we will help them do so. So we have, this great fellowship of trainers and rescue personnel and movers and shakers within the animal world that are committed to helping our guys. So just about every one of them has been able to get out of prison, connect with us, and we've gotten them a job or helped them launch their careers. So some of them are small business owners, some of them have employees, many of them have been married. And these are people some of them have been convicted of loss of life crimes where they were involved in the loss of a life. They've been pegged with this classification as, any terrible word you want to say, murderer or manslaughterer or whatever. And we've effectively said, look, we're not going to allow you're not going to be the product of your past discretions, mistakes. We're going to give you a second chance, and we're going to give you a path to redemption that not only helps you redeem yourself, but helps you plug into this mechanism for hope, the American dream, and helps you break the cycle for your family. We forget that incarceration isn't just about the person that's locked up. There are 10.5 million kids directly affected by incarcerated parents. 10.5 million kids whose cycle of life is being radically and directly affected. Whereas if we don't help their parents, that cycle is going to affect them. And we're going to be repeating the same. It's going to be familial recidivism, where your kids are going to end up in prison because you're in prison. And we just have to understand that just because you've committed a crime when you were young doesn't mean you're broken forever. In fact, you might have something so incredible and wonderful to offer this world that we will be shooting ourselves in the foot. We'd be out of our minds not to try to access some of this potential. Some of the most wonderful, conscientious, heartfelt, giving, emotionally intense, intelligent individuals are people I have bonded with on a level 4 general population prison yard. I mean, I'm telling you, I have taken some of my worst problems into prison where I go in there a wreck. I'm emotionally all over the place. And the way with which those guys bring me in and counsel me, and the way we talk about recovery and our lives and wives and kids, and it's just beautiful. These are beautiful people that deserve to be felt and heard and given a second chance. And to not do so would be a travesty.
But Zach, you're talking about people in prison. Some are affiliated with gangs. These are tough people who have criminal records. How do you get them to transform using a dog?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So it goes back to self-esteem. It goes back to feeling loved. So emotional awareness and emotional vulnerability is not popular in prison. If you show emotional vulnerability, that's interpreted as weakness, and you can put yourself in a tough spot. But what we require of these men and women is that they understand what's going on with their dog, that they are hyper empathetic to what their dog is experiencing. Is your dog experiencing anxiety? Is it fearful? Is it aggressive? Is it what is it experiencing? And to do that, they have to be willing to check in. They'll apply their sentience to this other sentient creature and understand what's happening. And just that exercise of empathy is critically important. They also give speeches and have homework related to the work they're doing. So the bond, what we're initiating with student inmate and dog, is a relationship of reciprocal love and appreciation that practices empathy and reciprocal love for maybe the first time in decades. Some of these guys have not been able to love something, have not been able to be affectionate with something. You can't wrap your arms around somebody, kiss somebody, give them belly rubs in prison. You can't give your celly belly rubs. Where's that going to leave you? But to be able to give emotionally of yourself to something and to be able to feel that love in return, it unlocks something emotionally. It sets you, it readies you for life on the outside in a more emotional, aware, empathetic existence. And really what we've learned is that once that bond is established, the dominoes fall. These guys become so receptive to really anything we're talking about or training about. They start to get self-esteem because they see their ability applied to this dog. They see what they're learning actually work. And then they start to go, oh my goodness, look at me. And then they're giving speeches to their whole class. These guys haven't given a speech. They haven't done work like this probably ever. So they're getting out of their comfort zone. They're being challenged with, outside of their race. All of these things that are new, that are fresh, that are challenging. And when you do things that are new, fresh, challenging, when you accept love, when you receive love, when you give love, you change. You become a different person. And that's what the whole thing is this constant, you're just always chugging forward towards emotional growth and a more kind of aware, empathetic version of yourself. And it happens every time.